What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first installment of the Personal Trainer Academy video series, where we're going to be diving into the ins and outs of personal training from a personal trainer's perspective and talking about the things that are going to help you become a better personal trainer or help you decide whether or not it's something you want to try to accomplish. So today's video, we're going to be talking all about the things a personal training certification won't teach you. These three things are so huge when it comes to personal training. Every session will have a little bit of each of them that they don't nearly cover enough. Now, I've got a background in exercise science, I've got multiple certifications, a couple of those textbooks are shown here, and there's a lot of things that are in these textbooks that are very cookie cutter, as they're designed to be, but they're not going to help you as a trainer connect with your clients, communicate with your clients, and help them achieve the goals that they're trying to get to. Now, one of the first things that you're not going to find in a lot of these books, they don't really tell you how to talk to your clients or what to talk about. I want you to imagine you're with your client, it's your first session, hopefully you've already done the eval. Now, the eval, there's a lot of communication going on there because you've got a lot of back and forth. You're probably doing a lot of the talking and educating, and then they're answering the questions, and hopefully actually they're doing most of the talking, which makes it pretty easy. Now, you're with them, it's their first session, you have a lot of chance to educate them, so you can talk to them a lot during that time. But then their second set rolls around and they're doing their bicep curls, and you kind of are, told them already a couple cues, and all of a sudden there's a silence and you might feel super awkward. And we've all been there as trainers. It takes a lot of getting used to. A lot of it's dissecting the situation, whether or not you're educating them more, whether or not you're cueing them more, whether or not you're just counting down reps, or whether or not you're just being quiet. Now, a lot of the times these books, obviously very professional in nature, and personal training is a very professional field. It is important to remember, this is a person-to-person field, so we need to treat it as such. And to do so, you need to find a way to actually talk to your clients. Remember, we're not just robots. We need to differentiate between something they find on an app or a fitness video they follow and that person-person connection that they're actually probably looking for. A lot of personal trainers, they don't realize at first, a lot of their clients stay with them for the long term, not just because of the physical results they're getting, but because of the relationship they build with the client. So when you're working with somebody, ask questions. How was your day? How is work going? How is this new hobby you've got going on? Find out about them, find out how many kids they have, if they're married, if they're in a relationship, maybe where they're from, things like that. And I actually did this when I first started training. Write this stuff down, okay, after the session. It might feel kind of creepy, but over time you realize, okay, I saw John on Monday, found out he's got a wife and 2 kids, or does this for work. All right, Wednesday rolls around, John walks in, hey John, how's your wife? There's an easy conversation starter right there. And albeit it's not always obviously that cut and paste for that kind of thing, but once you learn more about somebody, you build that relationship. Don't feel weird about talking to them like a person, right? There's a whole reason people think personal training is going to stick around is because where you can look online for a great program right now, you're not going to get that person-to-person connection that personal training will provide you. But more important than that, re-cue them, right? Do your job. Tell them about the exercise we're doing, okay? Tell them how many reps they have left. Don't stuff everything down their throat. A lot of trainers will over-cue, and they'll talk to things that are just there to fill space, while a little bit of a pause can feel kind of awkward. A lot of times it's not just you sitting there, right? They are engaged in an activity and they're doing something that they are focusing on. Sometimes if you talk too much, you can actually draw their focus away from it. It's totally okay to sometimes be silent, but again, they are looking to you for guidance, so be sure you're there to give it to them. The second thing we're going to talk about, which a lot of these books, this is what they sell their systems on, but it's how to talk about fitness in your client's language. Okay, we've all got clients, whether you're new or not, you're gonna have clients ranging from somebody who wants to know everything there is about everything they're doing and somebody who doesn't care and just wants to work out. Okay, you're gonna work with people who are very intelligent when it comes to biomechanical terms. They're gonna know everything there is to know about nutrition. They might even know way more about fitness than you think, but they just need some guidance. You're also going to find people, like I mentioned, who just want to work out. Yeah, maybe they care why they're doing a lunge, but they don't need to know every muscle, joint, interaction that's actually going on. So ask them. I mean, this is the simplest way is to say, hey, do you want to know more about what you're doing, or do you just kind of trust me to handle it? You know, sounds like a weird question, but again, the only way you're gonna find out whether or not they want that information is asking them. So instead of saying, we're gonna be doing a single arm, contralateral, eccentric focused cable row in a sagittal plane, make sure you co-contract your lumbar erectors and your transverse abdominals to keep your spine in neutral. Most people are like, what the hell did you just say? Instead, you might say something as simple as, all right, we're gonna do a one-arm row. Let's put your right arm in front. You'll grab that cable. Left leg will go in front of that. So you're kind of in a split stance. When you pull in, I want you to pause for a second and then really slowly let yourself go outward, okay? We're gonna focus on lengthening the muscle a little bit more. And when you're doing it, make sure to brace your core, okay? Now the difference between those two phrases, again, was the same exercise, just an opposite arm, opposite leg row, was me appealing to a lot of what these books like to appeal to, and that's the fancy verbiage that makes me sound super smart. The other one was actually applicable and more human and something that anyone could digest. A lot of people actually, you'll find out, and this will be a whole nother video, but it's learning styles, right? Some people need to hear right side, left shoulder, rotate. They need those cues. A lot of people, you say left side, they pull their hands up and they don't know what to do, okay? So that's when you figure out if somebody needs the verbiage or if somebody needs you to say, hey, let me show you what we're doing. This last one is how to improvise, adapt, and overcome. When it comes to personal training, the biggest things people underestimate is how much time they have. Okay, you come in, your session with John, an hour session, great, I got an hour, I can do all these exercises in an hour, great, I'm gonna foam roll, stretch, mobilize, run for 10 minutes, hit 3 sets of every exercise, and I'm good to go. Well, wait a minute, you forgot the whole time between every single demo where you're demoing the exercise, you're explaining the exercise. John needs a little more rest than you. People underestimate the ability to fit in work. I'd always recommend to actually err on the side of less, and then if you have more time, fill it with another set, okay? Versus feeling cramped to say like, oh God, we gotta run through these lat pull downs so we can go get to your leg extensions, okay? Instead of doing that, say, wow, we got through our lat pull downs, let's go do leg extensions, okay? It's gonna make your job a lot easier, it's gonna make the client feel less pressured, and it's gonna make you seem like more of a professional. What happens if your client's late? Then you've got to look back at your program, okay? Again, I track everything online. I can do another video of how I keep track of my clients' programs. And you have to think of the big rocks. What can they not leave without? You know, maybe they're a client who has a lot of lower back pain, and hip mobility and hip strengthening exercises really help them, okay? Maybe you don't need to do as much upper body that day. Maybe they bike to the gym and you can skip some of the cardio stuff you might do. You need to have that priority list. What I often do, again, if somebody's late, is we kind of turn the whole workout into a giant superset, which I like to joke with my clients, when they show up late, the workout's actually harder. Doesn't always make sense. If I've got clients working through a max strength phase, obviously we're not going to do really heavy deadlifts followed by really heavy pull-ups or really heavy squats, etc. We'll strategize around that, but basically finding ways to shorten your workout. Another thing a lot of trainers don't think about, they'll be at home or they'll be alone in the gym and they'll write out a perfect workout. They get to the gym. Now this is more apparent if you work in a big box gym. Say you have lat pull downs programmed, okay? Oh, hey, the lat pull down machine's taken. What are you gonna do now? I guess we'll do pull-ups. Oh, hey, client can't do pull-ups yet. That's why we're doing lat pull-downs. Okay, let me think. Okay, then you start to kind of panic a little bit and you think, all right, well, we've got to do a vertical pull, but we can't do a lat pull-down, can't do a pull-up. You're the professional. You're supposed to know these things. That's why they hired you, right? So in that kind of situation, you think, okay, lat pull-down, vertical pull, can't do it on the seated lat pull-down machine. They can't do pull-ups. Let me get a band, okay? Maybe if there's some bands around, we can do some pulls with the bands. No bands around? Okay, the lat pull-down machine's taken, but the tricep extension cable is open. So let's go kneeling and we'll do a vertical pull that way. So break down your exercises into movements and find an exercise that fits that movement. Barbell's taken, can't do barbell rows. What is a barbell row? It's a horizontal pull with a lot of core focus. Okay, let me see if dumbbells are free. We'll do dumbbell rows. Dumbbells not free. Let's see if there's a bar somewhere that I can do an inverted pull-up with, right? Or a TRX row or something of that nature. find a way to adapt, improvise, overcome, adapt, whatever the mesh of the words are. That's your job. That's what you're there for. These books aren't going to tell you how to do that, but you as a trainer will learn how to do that over time and become a better trainer. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, please like the video. Please subscribe if you'd like more content. Please comment down below if these are things, if you are a trainer, that you learned the hard way. If you're a new trainer, please let me know what other questions you have. The most common question that I get is, what certification should I get? I'll do a whole video on this. To shorten it up, doesn't really matter, only kind of matters, but we'll talk about that later. But if you've got more interesting questions that kind of pertain to the art of personal training, let me know. We can cover a lot of the science stuff behind that as well, but that's mostly what these books are for. But again, guys, thank you. My name's Ollie. This is the first edition of our Personal Trainer Academy videos. And again, I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks.